crazy, the expectations we have out of money. But you know what? I was reading an interview with Simon Cowell in Rolling Stone magazine. He was asked, what would you like more than anything else on earth? And this cranky but often accurate judge on American Idol said, more money. The interviewer said, but I read you're worth $90 million. Not enough?
What do you do with it?
Simon said, no, not enough. Exactly. What do you do with it? At some point, what's the difference between 30 million and 900 million? You can't spend either. Harrison Ford, one of my favorite movie stars, was asked a similar question. What's the one thing that all your millions cannot buy you that you would like? And he said, peace. And so this book is really about that. We know that if we really, at the heart of us, know that money is not going to satisfy. That it makes a great servant but a lousy master, and yet we chase it to the exclusion of the things that we really know we need. And I see this as I travel. I am shocked by it always. Men who have left their wives over money and whatever else. You know, I receive amazing letters through the years on this topic. I remember getting one from a millionaire in Chicago who said to me, Phil, if only I would have known these truths years ago. He said, you know, the happiest times were those times when we had almost nothing. My wife and I didn't have enough to buy a fridge, and so we had this ice box, and when we could get enough money, we put ice in it and we would have cold stuff. And he said, you know, we would chase each other sometimes around the house and flick ice at each other. Those were the happiest years.
The hungry years.
Yeah,
I miss the hungry years.
Miss the hungry years. And 5 years later, he became a multimillionaire, and their relationship fell apart, and off he went. And he said, I long for those simple times. So this is not really just a longing for simple times. This is a book that says, what really matters? How do I spend the rest of my life chasing the things that really matter?
You've got a lot of practical financial counsel too, money management counsel, along with the fun stories and the spiritual wisdom. You say you were saved by an airline serviette.
Yeah. It was when I wrote out my personal definition of success after being in an earthquake, going down to California to pursue a job that was going to pay me more than 3 times what I make now. And I thought I had never heard God's voice this clearly on the phone when I was asked about this. But after that earthquake in a Seattle airport washroom, I wrote out my personal definition of success. I will consider myself a success when I'm walking close to Jesus every day, when I'm building a strong marriage, loving my kids, and performing meaningful work. I'll consider myself a success when I'm making others homesick for heaven. And so I try to view all of life through that mirror and through that glass, and it has made a world of difference. It simply has. I want to give you the financial quiz, Moira.
Oh no,
okay,
I
here
knew
we
you
are.
were going to do
Ready?
this.
I am carrying a $5,000 balance on my MasterCard. I plan to A, pay it off with my Visa card. Would that be it? Set the card on fire? Perhaps.
Is that the same as cutting it in half?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not imbalanced enough to carry a balance. I pay it off each month. Tell me you do.
It would be the D. ABC. Was that
yeah,
D?
that was C. That was
okay.
the last one. You pay it off.
I can't even count.
You know, well, you don't have to count to be on television, do you?
Thankfully, no. They hold up numbers for me.
Years ago, when we applied for a Visa card, my wife and I, when we were first married, they turned us down. They said, you have no credit history. Well, we didn't. We'd never borrowed a penny in our lives. I wrote them a handwritten letter that said, we will pay it off at the end of each month. So they gave us a $700 limit. Do you know what? On any given month now, I get a card offered me in the mail. They send me one. Here. We just want you to have credit. So I hope viewers today say, you know what? No. When I see those, I'm throwing them away. I'm just going to simplify. I have one card. I need it for traveling. They won't rent me a car if I don't have one. However, I pay it off at the end of the month. I view it as cash. We don't spend it if we don't have it, and we have money left over to give away.
You talk about the things that make life rich being lost in the blur. Mm-hmm. And I know you have another mission with this book. Yeah. And that is, well, actually, Maclean's said that you're not alone in this mission, although I don't believe it. They say, according to researchers, there is a fast-growing crusade to put the brakes on modern life. Yeah. But crazy busy is a word. I'm sure it's in the dictionary now.
I love that, the joy of slow, because there is joy See, when we're pursuing all these things like money that can never satisfy, that are what they're doing is it's like drinking salt water to quench our thirst. Can't happen. A byproduct of that is moving so quickly that we forget the things that really matter. And over as I travel, I ask people, what has made your life rich? Moira, what would you say to that if I asked you, what has made your life rich?
Well, top of the heap is relationships.
Relationships.
The Lord and others.
With Richard and with the Lord. Yeah, this is what I hear over and over again, but there's nothing about modern culture that tells us to pursue relationships. Rogers has an ad on TV right now, you've probably seen it. It's a couple out in a lake on a boat, and she's saying, look, we can get the internet here. And I'm thinking, throw the laptop overboard. The guy there. That's what it's about. It's about relationships. And so, you know, my daughter, when she was just in second grade, got up in front of the class and said, my mom won't be having any more kids because her tubes are tired. We're so tired. We're worn out, all parts of us. And it's because we lack contentment. Advertisers are spending billions convincing us that we are miserable, creating necessities for us, saying, poor Moira, you do not have the perfect house with the perfect kitchen and the perfect lighting, and the table surrounded by perfect children who laugh at all your jokes while the Labrador Retriever lies at your feet, flealess and grinning, oh, you poor thing. And we need to say no. I had a call from a telemarketer. He said, Phil, could you see yourself making more money? And I said, no. We are so thankful for what God has given us. And as we come up to this Thanksgiving time, we need to do that. Just say how thankful I am for the relationships, and I need to pursue them with God's help, making them better.
Is it true that someone tried to charge, what, $5,600 to your MasterCard?
Oh yeah, they did. Be careful in restaurants when you just dole out your card and some guy takes it into a back room. I've learned to be careful. They put through some stereos and HD televisions, yeah, be careful.
You've made LOL a reality in my week. And I don't talk in those little handles.
Oh, bless you.
But it has been,
I
have laughed out loud, and it's been so good.
Great.
And has been said by so many commentators. I love what Chris Fabry said. Reading Phil Callaway is like playing in holy sand. You're having so much fun, you don't realize how much has gone into your shoes and is now sticking to your life. And evangelist Luis Palau said, everything Phil Callaway writes is full of life because he's discovered a fabulous secret. The joy of Christ doesn't go away, even when life is a mess.
Yeah. Having one purpose, eternity. This is a hope golf ball. And
it does actually say hope on it.
Yeah.
Can you see the word?
What you need in golf and you need in life. And so this book is about hope. My parents passed away, as you mentioned, and they didn't leave much behind them, or did they? Julian Lennon talked about his father, John Lennon, who left behind $530 million, but he said, my dad, he lived like a hypocrite. He could sing out loud about love to the world, but never show it to those who supposedly meant the most to him, his wife and child. So I look at my parents' lives and I say, thank you, God, for their faithful lives. I am one very rich boy because they lived with eternity in view.
Oh, these are just some of the warm, real thoughts contained in Making Life Rich Without Any Money. It's a book you're going to want to get a handle on, and we're going to want to get Phil back, which we will, I know, very soon.